When Elias Ward turned 78, the stars finally went silent for him. He had spent his youth building listening arrays for the United Earth Coalition, delicate instruments meant to catch whispers from across the void. He had believed, foolishly some said, that if humanity listened long enough, something out there would answer. For decades, he stared at data streams, filtered cosmic noise, and chased patterns that never quite became voices. Others rose, were promoted, celebrated for first contacts and trade treaties. Elias stayed behind, the quiet engineer who tuned the ears of humanity but never heard the music himself. Now he lived alone on the edge of New Carthage, a rusting orbital city drifting around a tired yellow star. His hands shook too much for precision work. His hearing was failing. The coalition pension barely covered recycled food and oxygen tax. The stars he had loved were reduced to pinpricks beyond a grimy viewport. On the night everything changed, Elias was preparing to shut down his old receiver for good. The coalition had announced a system-wide upgrade. Legacy arrays like his would be scrapped within the month. It felt like an obituary written in machine code. "Last sweep," he murmured, fingers hovering over the console. "For old time's sake." Static bloomed across the display. Familiar, comforting. Then something cut through it. Not a signal. Distortion. As if space itself had flinched. Elias leaned forward, heart pounding. The anomaly was localized, close. Too close to be natural. Energy levels spiked, then collapsed into a tight impossible not just outside the station's restricted zone. And then, against every protocol, something appeared. A ship, not coalition, not anything in known registries, unfolded from nothing like a thought becoming real. Its surface shimmered, neither metal nor light, bending around itself in ways Elias's tired eyes struggled to follow. Alarms screamed throughout New Carthage. Defense cannons tracked the intruder. Automated hails went unanswered. Elias did the one thing no one else thought to do. He listened. He rerouted the receiver, bypassing coalition filters, stripping away assumptions built into decades of human design. He tuned not for electromagnetic waves, but for the distortion itself, the tremor beneath reality. And he heard her. It wasn't sound. It was intention, layered with urgency and pain. Help. Before Elias could question his sanity, his console flared white. The lights died. Gravity lurched. Then everything went dark. He woke on a smooth surface that felt warm beneath his back. The air smelled different, cleaner, sharper. Elias tried to sit up and failed. His muscles weak as water. Panic rose, but a calm presence pressed gently against his thoughts. "Do not fear. Your body is fragile." Elias blinked. Above him arched a ceiling that pulsed faintly, like the inside of a living thing. Shapes moved along it, veins of light carrying energy. He turned his head and saw her. She was tall, willowy, her form vaguely humanoid but elongated, as if sculpted by different gravity. Her skin glowed with soft iridescence, shifting colors that reflected her emotions. Large, dark eyes regarded him with something like wonder. "You're real," Elias rasped. Her head tilted. "So are you Elias Ward?" He stiffened. "You know my name." "I know many things," she replied. "I'm called Saris. My kind listens as you once did." Elias laughed weakly. "Funny. Took the universe long enough to answer." Saris' colors dimmed. "My arrival was not meant to be an answer. It was a mistake." She showed him then, not with images but with shared sensation. Her species, the Ketheri, did not travel through space as humans did. They folded probability, stepping between moments. But something had gone wrong. She had miscalculated, torn herself partially out of phase. Her ship was failing. Her body was destabilizing. "Your defenses would have destroyed me," she said. "But you heard me. You adjusted your instruments in a way no human had before." Elias closed his eyes. "All my life, I listened for someone. Turns out it was you." Sarah studied him, then placed a luminous hand over his chest. Elias felt warmth spread through him, deeper than flesh, brushing against his failing heart. His scarred lungs, the slow decay of age. "Your body is ending," she said gently. "Yet your mind is strong. Your listening changed me. I would repay that." "What are you saying?" Elias asked. "I can give you a second beginning." The process was neither instant nor painless. Sarah integrated her technology with Elias's biology, not replacing him, but reinforcing what remained. Nanostructures woven from probability itself stabilized his cells. Damaged neurons were rebuilt, guided by preserved memory patterns. His failing senses sharpened, retuned like the instruments he once crafted. Days, or perhaps weeks, passed as Elias drifted between sleep and awareness. He felt himself changing. Strength returned to limbs long betrayed by age. His breathing deepened, effortless. Colors grew richer. Sounds clearer. When he finally stood on his own, he wept. His hands were steady. Sarah watched him with quiet satisfaction. "You are not young," she said. "But you are no longer bound to decay." Elias looked at his reflection in a smooth panel. His face was still lined, his hair white, but his eyes burned with clarity and life. He looked like himself, only restored. "You saved me," he said. "We saved each other." But the universe would not allow such a miracle to go unnoticed. Coalition forces breached Sarah's cloaking field within hours. Warships surrounded the anomaly. Demands were issued. Threats followed. They wanted her technology. They wanted Elias's proof. "You can leave," Elias told Sarah, dread curling in his chest. "Fold away. They won't catch you." Sarah's colors darkened. "My ship is stable now. But if I leave, they will dismantle your work. They will silence you again." Elias thought of his years in obscurity, of knowledge buried under bureaucracy. He straightened, feeling a resolve he hadn't known since youth. "Then we don't leave." Elias transmitted on every channel. Public, private, forbidden. He spoke not as a soldier or politician, but as a listener. He told them what Sarah was. Not a weapon, not a resource, but a mind older than human civilization, capable of seeing reality in ways humans barely imagined. He revealed the Coalition's secret archives, the data they had buried, the patterns Elias had recognized decades ago but never been allowed to publish. The truth spread faster than any fleet. People listened. Protests erupted across human space. Scientists demanded dialogue. Citizens questioned why first contact had been met with guns instead of words. Cornered by public scrutiny, the coalition backed down. A joint council was formed. Sarah was recognized as an ambassador, not of conquest but of contact. Elias stood beside her, no longer invisible. Years later, Elias Ward no longer lived on the edge of New Carthage. He traveled with Sarah between systems, helping humans learn to listen differently, not just for signals but for meaning. Together, they redesigned communication arrays, blending human engineering with Kethri perception. For the first time, humanity began to hear the subtle harmonies of the cosmos, the slow conversations of stars, the echoing thoughts of ancient civilizations hiding in probability's folds. Elias taught. Sarah learned. They changed each other constantly. One evening, as they drifted near a newborn star, Elias watched its light spill across the viewport. "I was ready to die," he said softly. "I thought my story was over." Sarah's colors warmed, gentle and bright. "Your story was paused. I merely pressed play again." Elias smiled, feeling the vastness ahead instead of behind him. The universe at last was listening back. And for an old human who had been given a second beginning, that was more than enough.